or whatever. But from a Spurs perspective, as bad as coronavirus is, and we've discussed that as well, and how upsetting it all was, but it came for us. It came probably at a good time. For Spurs, it came at a good time.
It did.
And then when lockdown was lifted and the season resumed again, that kind of came at a time that in the gap, or the time that elapsed, sort of came at was handy for us, because it meant that we suddenly had a number of players back and available that hadn't been available before, and they were reinvigorated. Kane himself said, he hadn't played for 6 months or whatever many months it was, and was raring to go. So they kind of they had to deal with the situation, and then they kind of just put it behind them, and they're just ready to go again. Which is that
was quite interesting. There was a little piece in episode 8 where Dyer's getting some physio or whatever. He's talking about his vegetables and his garden. He's obviously a bit of a green-fingered guy. And then Deli comes in, or in a separate clip, says that he's because I think Tanganga's talking about some food that he started to cook during lockdown, and Deli said he made beans. In the microwave, and that's the first thing he's ever cooked. And he's 23 now, 24.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Madness. I know.
Yeah, and he's got a massive house, which we always see all over Instagram and shit like that. So he must have people, obviously, that are living there and are providing the.
He must have a chef or something.
Doing his food for him. So no.
His chef's probably been ripping him off and selling him tins of 50p baked beans and saying, "Oh, Mr. Ali, I've been cooking these all day for you. They're your favourite. 15 quid, please." And then he's like, "That's a bargain, mate. I'll have a bit of that."
Yeah. He sounds a bit exotic, the chef. Where's the chef from?
He's
Rochdale.
He's from Wales.
I agree. I agree with Andy. He sounded like he was from Rochdale. So anyway, I think was the last game in episode 8, was that the Man United game?
That was the restart game. Yeah.
So that was that pissed me off, seeing the Pogba dive, because at the time it was a dive. I maintain it was a dive.
Yeah, it was. He went down like a sack of spuds, didn't he?
Yeah. Kicked his own foot and fucking fell over.
Yeah, he did. So,
shameless.
Yeah. But they're Man United. Give him a break. They're Man United, and they deserve the penalties.
Well, they do. Yeah. I mean, they were lacking in penalties. They didn't have many during the season, so you can't begrudge them the odd one.
No, not at all. No.
Especially when fucking John Moss was eager to give him another one as well. Shit.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, he was crap in Culture Club anyway.
Great link. So from there we had the run-in, which is what the final episode was called. And then there was like, you have the Mourinho scene where he's doing it like a dance in the chair.
Oh yeah,
he's doing a dance in it, and there was a lot of people that got to see obviously some of these episodes beforehand. And we're using clips, and they're using that bit. I can't remember what it was, and they were saying, well, I think it might have been for the Everton game. So not long after the Everton game, they're going, well, no wonder they fucking played shit if he, if he's in the changing room and all he's doing is blah 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 blah. And I'm thinking, like that was only like 8 o'clock or whatever on the Sunday night. So. How are they seeing, like, they're seeing all these fucking clips and everything?
Well, I think some of the pods, and I don't know who else, they got early access, so for review purposes.
Influencers.
The influencers, yes, exactly.
They are influencers. So we'll in a few years we'll be influencing as well.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with football, but we'll be
and not in a good way.
Yeah.
What the hell will we be influencing then?
I've got no idea. No idea.
That's what I want to know.
Excessive drinking down at Redemption.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, what that'll be you, not me. I'm only allowed to. I'm limited. My doctor said I'm limited, so
that's why I said you need to get a new doctor. Then you can jump on our bandwagon, can't you? Join the club.
Yeah.
No, well,
need to find a doctor that likes beer.
Yeah.
Go for a few pints with him.
I'm sure there's a few out there.
Yeah, must be. Yeah, so that episode starts with West Ham, doesn't it? Which lovely
good
win.
game.
Lovely
win.
Enjoyed that.
Good performance. Good win.
Yeah. And then it, which we can kind of skip over because that was all good. But it went into probably one of the most interesting parts of that episode, which is Ndombele and him with Sissoko and with Serge.
This is, I mean,
the three amigos.
I think we should I think we should do this to death and pick this one apart. And spend like an hour and a half talking about this.
Yeah, we could do actually. Yeah.
Well, we could. I mean, but the interesting thing, obviously, is for ages we kind of stuck up for Ndombele and said that he'll come good and it's he's in a new country and he's a young lad in a new country away from his family and everything. And like literally, he virtually said that like virtually verbatim.
Yeah.
About. Yeah. How it's he found it difficult, and we also singled out the fact that Sissoko obviously would be a big influence on him, and he would was probably trying to look after him, and that Aurier was a big would be involved as well, and that was probably part of the problem, if you remember rightly.
Well, this is it, because Sissoko seems like the nicest guy in the world. But Serge seems like the biggest idiot in the world.
Well, no, but so, I think
so it's a bit of a mixture, isn't it?
We say that, but Serge has his he does really have his sensible side as well, and I think that he'd had discussions in I can't remember what episode it was where they had a Serge focus, and he went out into the community and he was talking to players that were. People with disabilities and stuff like that, and talking about
that was good.
And engaging with and he was saying about working hard, and he worked hard, and he, But do you remember we have discussed this and about him taking the right path and stuff. So he understands the opportunities that he's had and how lucky he is and everything like that. And they both kind of just said the manager makes the decisions, and you just have to take your opportunity when it comes. Work hard and hope and understand that there's only 11 people that can play, and if you work hard to put yourself in a position to be one of those selected.
Exactly.
But it was good. It was good. It was really good to see that dynamic, and it was kind of it felt like a vindication of the messages that we'd been saying for ages throughout the course of the year about Ndombele and him being a work in progress, and the fact it's great that the club want to hold on to him. It's great. I mean, even still now, I think I can't remember which interview it was. If it was if it was pre or post Everton, they're talking about Ndombele, and it might be the pre-match interview for tomorrow. So for Plovdiv, and they're saying about him starting, and he says, well, he's working his arse off. He is working.
Oh hard. Yes, that's right. Yeah,
we're really pleased with him, and we're in constant conversation with him about how to improve the situation for him. We don't think he's ready to start and to do 90 minutes yet, and he admits that kind of thing. So, it feels like there's still opportunity for Ndombele.
Yeah, I think there is.
I think as fans, we need to forget about the price tag and all of that bollocks. Forget about that. Just think about him as a player of potential.
He's just a really young guy, and he's obviously quite he's young. He seems quite a sensitive, shy guy as well. So, coming over here, his family staying in France, I think, is what he was saying.
Change of lifestyle.
It must be really disruptive for him. A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, he doesn't speak English, does he?
No.
So
No.
Well,
that
he
must
didn't. He did. Didn't he manage? He managed.
He managed a bit. Yeah.
He managed a couple of words at the end of a conversation that he was having. So he's obviously learning. But
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, we can all speak a bit of French, bonnet de douche and Chateau Neuf de Pape and, the Del Boy level of French, that can get by on a day-to-day basis. But, to be,
a day-to-day who uses the Del Boy fucking dictionary of French on a day-to-day basis and hope to get away with it and feel that they can and feel that that's going to stand them in good stead. How can you say a day-to-day basis, fuck's sake?
May we. but yeah, I mean, coming over from France, you can't speak any English, and someone says to you, "On me head, son." I mean, how do you even translate that, or try and comprehend what they? So it must be very difficult. He's only 22, 23.
I think that the only thing I'd qualify with that, and I don't know, for example, if like people like Rodriguez and that speak good English, but someone like Messi, for example, if he came over, I would expect him to go straight into our side and play. And the fact that he doesn't speak English shouldn't be an issue for if you when you're on the pitch, the movements and the movements and the combinations and stuff like that should really be ingrained. So I don't think it's the on the pitch stuff particularly that should be the issue. I would say that it must, it's the change of environment, the change of lifestyle. The fact that
I think so.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like with anyone. If you go on holiday and you're staying in a really dodgy hotel and that, it will affect your mood the next day. It will affect the way that you live your life the next day. Same with.
It must be tough for him. It must be tough.
You go home after work, have a bad evening, going to work after a bad morning. It will affect it. Little niggly things will affect your day.
Yeah, no, totally. I think if he finishes a game and goes over the road, tries to go and get a Chick King or something, and you can't speak the language, and just pointing at the menu, it must be bloody tough.
Exactly, and if you're trying to pay for your food in euros as well, and
exactly.
What the fuck's that, mate? Fuck off.
Totally.
I've
always said that about Chick King.
There's loads of places that accept euros. You must shop in the wrong places.
Like where?
There's shitloads of places over here that accept euros.
What, in Luton?
Yeah, loads of places.
I mean, to be fair, on Tottenham High Road, there probably are more languages than English anyway.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll not go there. Let's not go there. So again, mentality was the order of the day.
It felt like
felt like the Mourinho message obviously was sinking in. You had the training ground session where Delhi tried to break Sonny's leg.
Yep.
And like people starting to and it kind of felt actually that Sonny was being a bit victimized in this episode, because you had him like Dyer trying to break his leg, then you had him being bollocked by.
I know. Did you not think that? Did you not think that maybe Sonny is a little bit kind of spoilt, or I don't know? There's something about him that Jose picked up on, and he just it was especially after him getting a bollocking from Hugo, when he said, it's all about absorbing this, learning from it, and not thinking that you're a spoiled brat.
So I mean, if you look at if you take that back to his not cultural actually, but if you take it back nationally, so he's massive back home.
It's the golden boy. It's golden balls of career.
Unbelievable, exactly. So no matter what he does, he's never going to do anything wrong. He's never really going to face any
criticism or
for lack of passing. We spoke about his decision making. We've covered that. We spoke about his decision making in the final third and stuff like that. And if he's playing for the national team or whatever, and someone's in a better position, and he he jinks inside, drops his shoulder, jinks